All right, Day Trader Rockstar here with you again. Part two of this video. I'm going to call it trading philosophy because it's so important again to keep on driving this home. I think this is almost the hardest part of trading. You know, being able sitting in front of your screens here all day. If you trade here with me, or like me, you sit in front of your screens all day, and some days there's no volume and stuff. Some days you just don't see the setups. Some days you might not feel it, but you're forcing yourself. You don't want to force yourself to get into a trade. Um, if you had, like I said, if you had a good focus list, say developed a good focus list. If you need that, the directions how to do that, email me. We'll do a special video of just developing a focus list, which should be, I would say, between 30 and 50 stocks to start off with that you could rotate through each week. Now, what I do is I do my research over the weekend. I really go over a lot of stocks because I'm doing it for everyone out there. So I'm going through probably close to 1,000 stocks over the weekend, and from those I got to narrow those down. And what I'm looking for is a strict, my strict criteria of entry points, my indicators. I want my indicators to line up, and if they don't line up, then it's harder to find the positions I want to take during the day, and that's so important because you do not want to, just force yourself to get into a trade. That's, leads to over trading, leads to a lot of bad habits in the market. So again, establishing that really good focus list helps a lot because what you want to do is just rotate through it each weekend. Develop your style, watch all the videos, ask me questions, but what it comes down to is watch those trend lines, take the trade that gives you the best risk reward. So instead of chasing something, wait for it. Something strong, wait for the pullback. Just look back at the past history. If you don't see that, then you're kind of, again, you're trading outside your box. You're not taking the best possible entry. I know there's stocks that go up, constantly. You could get in it, you could see it go up, but again, that's one way of trading. But there's no reason or rhyme sometimes to get into those trades. It's just a momentum trade, and that momentum would change on a dime. What I'd like to do is to, have confidence in my trade, know that there was a reason why I'm getting into it. I know that there's a lower trend line, there's an oversold stochastic, so there's a 200 period moving average, and there's a recognizable pattern. All this showing me that there's an upside move coming. That gives me a lot of confidence getting into a trade, makes me feel good about it. I could take my entry. I know I could add to it with my crossover, my confirmation of the trade gives me more confidence to get in. I'm already into a profit, and I know exactly where I'm going to take that profit and get out. And I continue to do that, and that's what I want you to continue to do is to develop those that criteria to get into stock and the criteria to get out of stocks. All right, so let's continue with some stocks here. We left off with that one, SMT. SMT, just a technique, the 5 to 7 day reversal. This one came out with earnings. It got smacked down. I actually had it going into earnings. It was actually, a good trade. And then earnings are the most dangerous. And again, the lowest reward. Well, it's the highest risk and the highest reward possibility on earnings. So it basically comes down to gambling. And if you take the gamble, you get hit or you can make a lot of money. You can look at that one or you can look at the price line on Friday. But anyway, in either case, whenever you see a pullback like this, I usually wait 5 to 7 days, and then seeing how that gives the time for the stochastic to oversold, and that's when I usually see that stock showing strength again. So just to do an update on SMT, you can see how that's working out. So just remember that. PKG, this is an alert that went out for last week, and again, the reason was stochastic's getting oversold. First pullback to the 20 period moving average. Very strong stock up near a 52-week high. That looks great. I would expect this one to break out and continue to move this week. EP, again, I'm just reviewing some of the stocks that were in from last week and off the watch list. EP, El Paso, just been very strong stock. This is what I call rock hard stock. We recently broke out of consolidation. Pretty much it's a slight variation of an ascending triangle. You can see the overhead resistance and the higher lows, but the 200 period moving average. Then we broke through and kind of pulled back. The second entry right here to the 20, and it's been running up here. So again, it continues to look good. I would continue to watch it move up further here. Oshkosh, great setup here. Oshkosh was a a pullback play. It actually made a nice move. It's pulled back down into lower channel. You can see the nice channel line that's been broken. That first really pulled back. The stochastic got oversold, and it did make a nice 4-day move. It moved up. It reversed back underneath the 200. It's pulled back to the lower trend line. On a stock like this, you could easily go out on the 60-minute chart and start to see that pattern play out on the 60-minute chart much clearer. So you can see this kind of a wedge pattern, and I still like the Oshkosh pullback. So we could tighten that pattern up by saying, all right, we got a pullback here. Where do we go? We have a double bottom on the stochastics here, which is great, and it looks good for a breakout to the upside there. So with that, I'm looking at the 60-minute chart again. And you could just extend this trend line and just look for this channel breakout here, like 30-30. And that could be your secondary entry or your first entry if you're in it already. Or if you're not in it already. DISCA, another great example. This was a, great stock. Came out with earnings. It was, came out with earnings. Actually had pretty good earnings. And dropped off. And then gave us a nice 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 day. It started consolidating 8, 9, and then started turning back up. But what was really good on this, you could zoom out and you could see a very good established trend line. So once you see a trend line and you see the oversold stochastics, I had to get in it. Picked it up. What did we pick that up? 40.27, and now it's 42.34. So again, the reason your confidence in your trade. It pulled back. All the indicators saying this is your best opportunity. Get in it, and then that's the results from it. And it looks good to even go back up and fill this gap. I bet, because it actually had some good earnings. Again, you got to know your stocks. You got to do your research. Here's a new one that's going to be on the watch list. Again, Crown Castle, wireless tower maker. You can see the nice gradual pullback. We actually had a nice little bounce here off the lower trend line. And the stochastics getting that crossover, almost a double bottom on the stochastics. But what's good about this is we're just getting moving. Lots of times you'll see a stochastic pull back to an oversold level and then move up to a trend line and get overbought. Pull back, be oversold, and then push up to the trend line, be overbought, and that would happen. But once you get up to the upper trend line and we're just breaking out, there's usually enough power to break out of this channel. So I'm going to be watching that closely this week. AMD. This is, a great example of a channel. We took this, of course, we took this trade. It was a great trade. One of the, and again, even got it on the pullback. It's moved up here. We took profits. Now I've been waiting for it. Now, why wait? Well, because you take it any time earlier, even at this point right here, we were pulled back to the 20. The stochastics at that point were not set up. They were still very negative. They were pointing and facing down. They were moving on down, and at that point, we continued to break down. Now we broke down to the 50-period moving average and the stochastics over. So that's a number one. That's a very high probability area. Love the area down here on AMD. Again, first real pullback. Second, this is a secondary entry. This is called a secondary entry. So secondary entries, first real pullback, having a multiple indicator setup. Again, you can follow that trend line up. This was a break of the trend line, but it held the 50 AMD. Now, I actually like Micron a little bit better, though. So I don't know if I'm going to take the AMD. I like Micron. It pulled back. This is, again, the first real pullback. We had a little trend line break. First real pullback. We have to make sure this is an established channel line. Yeah, it is. I like Micron a lot better, and I'm going to actually take a position on this on Monday. I think we could hold that 650 very easily. So not bad. We've got a nice pullback. Hasn't really run away from me yet. Stochastics are oversold. We're probably going to move up. I like the little pullback on Friday. So Micron is going to be on the watch list on Monday and on the 10 for 1,000 watch list also. Man, I got a lot of stocks to go over. OSK, we went over that. This is going to do CCI, AMD, Waste Management. Again, same thing. Pull back here. We got in on this one right before Vegas, right down to the trend line, right a lower trend line, actually an upward rising trend line and a downward channel. So this whole area, very good entry. It's oversold stochastics. You can see the nice volume we had on Thursday and Friday. Looks good. Buy trigger 34.40, 35.40, 36, and a very small trigger because it doesn't move a lot. Love the opportunity down here. Budweiser was another good one, BUD. This was the buy trick 58, said watch for the pullback, wait for the stochastics to pull back. First real pullback of a very good quality stock, Budweiser. Trend line's way underneath it, so I really pay attention to the stochastics a little bit more here, and had to buy into the pullback on the stochastics. Now look at it, rocking and rolling, back above the 20, still looks really good. BUD. Diamond Offshore, DO. Again, I like Diamond. I'm going to give some freebies. Again, like I said, I'm going to put out the 10 for 1,000 watch list after this, and that's going to be a whole different setup of stocks that are right on their high probability setups. So those go out to the members. I'm going to get those out probably by 8 o'clock today. But these are kind of for people out there in YouTube land, and hopefully come by the station and join in on the members side of things. Low price. Actually, we're going to be raising prices in December. So right now, $24.95 a month, and get all this information, and get the watch list each week, and have all the work done for you. You won't find this anywhere else. Anywhere else. Feel free to come by. 2-week trial. December 1st, the price goes up to $29.95. But anybody with that $24.95 is locked in for life. And this will go up in price. Been around for going into 3 years now. And I want to keep the price light. This is a beautiful thing, We have a great community. I don't want to get into that too much. All right, so that's about it. I want to start working on my watch list, get the other stocks out. A couple of the best bets going into next week. I'll just tell you what you'll see on some on the watch list. Again, looking at the defensive sector again. L3. Also looking at Adobe again, ODBE, Lockheed Martin. Micron, we talked about Micron. I already gave you a lot of them. I'll let the other ones be for the members here. Happy, and then the next video is actually going to be my 400th video. So that's it. Big shout out to everyone from Vegas. Everyone have a great night. I'll see you tomorrow, Monday morning, 8 o'clock at DayTradingRadio.com. I'll bring you these setups live in real time. All right, futures are up actually right now. Futures are on. It's 12:04. They're up 12. Let's see, it's 12:04. So let me double check that right now. ES futures up 575. Going to be a big day tomorrow, guys. I'm psyched. All right, I'm out of here.